You are working on you're working on a play about three sisters.
Well, no, actually, no. I'm working on a film, or at least I have made the basis of a film, which was given to me by an idea of a close friend who had a loose affair with my mother.
Playing off key, are you?
Oh, no. Now I usually play like that.
Loose affair, this was something that had some effect on the art, your art. It's your story, your part?
No. It had more of an effect on my father. You will be told that 100 years ago it had more of an effect on my father, who was a black sheep for the family. The government launched a Ministry of Munitions for the aspiration of a scientific development to create the shell breeding to achieve a victory to counter the opposition gaining ground in the areas of the Somme in 1916. You will be told that the scientific development was necessary to produce the victory. Yet that very invention, as you are told, of the Ministry of Musicians is spurious. Is it a history that lies, or is it that we actually believe it? For two reasons. One is that if that ministry was founded as a Ministry of Musicians in 19... for so many times that really I was prevented from meeting any of his brothers, or who I thought were his brothers.
Ah, so this is where the play that you wrote, The Three Sisters, had its basis. Is that the three sisters helped you to find the brothers that you couldn't ever meet?
No. We were without the three sisters also.
The three sisters were not related at all to my mother.
The three sisters were not related at all to my mother.
If anything, they were related to my father.
They were related to my father. If anything, they were related to my father. On my father's side, you see, let me explain. My father was the black sheep of the family. He was considered to be a rebel with a cause. Now, not as in the case of James Dean, the rebel without a cause. My father was the rebel with a cause, recognized by the three sisters. His three sisters, one was claiming that he had things against his father which he should have known nothing about.
Oh, this in fact is your father. This is over, if I remember rightly, you were saying this is about your father was born out of wedlock, wasn't he?
No, my father's past was pre the sanctuary that was offered by, if you like, my mother from the age of 12, because my mother was going with my father from the age of 12. My father was 12, and my mother was, I think, 17. And the fact that my father was trying to say that he had been born outside of wedlock made him the black sheep of the family.
Oh, I see. So your father was in fact, well, I can't say it, can I? But your father was in fact...
Yes, well, he was treated as such. But the three sisters is not about the three sisters in the play, in the story.
Oh, it's not about the three sisters.
Oh, no. The three sisters in the story is about three kings.
Three.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
The play is about three sisters.
Which is not about three sisters at all, it's about three kings. Well, no, actually, it's more about three monarchs. Which, if you look at the history, for instance, have you heard of William Devereux?
Oh no, I haven't heard of this.
Well, he's associated Walter Devereux, and he's associated with the murder of von Wallenstein. Von Wallenstein, you may not have heard of. This is Wallenstein, who was born in Germany, Bohemia, into a poor Protestant branch of the Wallenstein family, who owned Germany's castle and 7 surrounding villages. His mother, Margrethe, died in 1593, and his father, Wilhelm. I always get muddled up between Wilhelm Devereux and his father. No matter. Von Wallenstein, he was responsible. They had him raised bilingually. The father spoke German while his mother preferred Czech.
He was responsible.
Oh yes, well, he managed an estate, if you like, in Western Germany, and he was rather after the what Napoleon Bonaparte was going to be after 150 years later, in some 33, I think. He was after the trying to present the unification or the process by which the Church of Rome was imposing its will, its Catholicism, if you like, on the Western Europe. And it's about three monarchs who have an affair which it cannot ever be written about because it's actually a horror story. It is a horror story of the worst sort that actually takes such innocence as Mozart. Have you heard of Mozart? Yes, you heard of Mozart. Who takes such innocence and has them believe that they will end up as composers. It took, for instance, the life of, have you heard of Wallenstein? Von Wallenstein?
No, I haven't heard of him before.
Well, Wallenstein was one of the fighters who was in Bohemia. He was one of the, we write about Bohemian Rhapsody, don't we? We hear about Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemia he was one of the people who had an unfortunate marriage. He married a very wealthy woman and his wife died. And he used his wealth to try to equate and fight the Church of Rome. So what we have by 1633 is his effectively murder, and the fact that the monarchy of England can know nothing about this because by 1649 the King Charles I loses his head. That by 150 years later you have the Pitt, William Pitt the elder, who was in some great respect quantifying proliferations, the treaties and organizations of the New World, that in 1760, for instance, was apportioning the throne of Louis XV of France. You've heard of Louis XV, have you? You know?
Oh, no, it's all in the history books, isn't it? It's all in the history books.
Well, no, it isn't actually. No, it isn't at all. You would not have realised that there was this plot between King George and Louis XV that actually... Well, no, it isn't actually. No, it isn't at all. He planned to take away the chance that Louis would lose his throne to anyone in the namesake of any soldier such as Bonaparte, that it was conceived that they would try to win the estates of the New World. But, of course, as you realise, William Pitt the elder, who was the statesman for Parliament, managed through the treaties of by 1763 to get the French Emperor to renounce the territories in Northern America. You didn't know that?
Oh well, it's all in the past, isn't it?
It's all in the past. Well, no, it's not actually. It's not actually any more than I am a refugee now, seeking any misapprehension that I would ever become for instance, a musician. I have no wish to be a musician. Anybody suggesting that I am a pianist probably is inclined to make some sort of mischief.
So you've written this play, The Three Sisters.
You've equated the Three Sisters as being effectively three monarchs.
And you're saying that three monarchs had a hidden affair with each other.
Are you? Is that what it is?
No. What I'm saying is that
What I'm
the
saying
Germans
is that
were
what I'm saying
wholly irresponsible.
The Germans were wholly irresponsible in their granting of the relationship of the monarchy that was through the House of Hanover from George I, who became the king, as you know, in 1714, after Queen Anne passed away sadly, right through to King William IV, who was king, as you know, from 1830 to 37, the Duke of Clarence, you know, the third son of King George III. He was the last monarch to appoint a prime minister without the consent of Parliament. I mean, what abominable actions allows a policy of trust embraced by the heredity of any restoration of 1689 under William and Mary to be equated to the administration by a so-called free society of a prime minister who is not elected by the people at all, but a prime minister. Well, no, it isn't actually. No, it isn't at all. So who Wellington resigned in 1830, and a prime minister appointed in the name of Earl Grey, who without any tradition of the people at all. And then to claim falsely after the Reform Act of 1832 that by the Act of 1833, the treaty against slavery, the abolition of slavery, you've heard of this, have you?
Oh, well, yes, this is about the abolition of the slavery in the British Empire.
That's right, yes. It was banned by 1833, slavery throughout the British Empire. The irony being that the slaves had never voted for this Prime Minister in the first place. That you wonder why you ended up, in fact, with a German king consort in the husband of his niece, that is William IV, his niece, who was Victoria, who was the Queen of England and the British Empire from 1837 through with her husband, Prince Albert, until his death in 1861, sadly died, Windsor Castle, until her death in 1900, when 1901 was the appointment, coronation of King Edward VII.
It was 1902, I believe. I think.
1902. So you have effectively the Three Sisters, my play, which has been not about three sisters, but is in fact about three monarchs who didn't in fact know each other, or at least didn't know each other as well as they should, and effectively destroyed Europe, destroyed what were going to be the United States of America, and related, if I'm not mistaken, to, well, we don't talk about current Prime Ministers, related to, shall we say, the traditions of the grand traditions of the future. I don't refer, notice, in the Three Sisters to anything to do with the past. It is all in the future. It all takes place in the future.
Oh, so we can consider it never happened?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, my friend Roger Riets has just died recently on the 10th of July 2015 of the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Fernando, thank you.
Thank you. What is your past? What is your people's past? And what is it that makes some of you tell others that those histories are to remain silent? And as one famous website said to this fella, that history is not apparent to be told. Who has the right to tell you what is your past? Well, I will tell you who has the right to tell you what is your past.